From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Good evening. I'm Danielle Shenk alongside our WOWT anchor, Brian Mastry. We'll check in with our Omaha sister station in a moment. But first, how far would you go to protect your child? One Nebraska mom is taking on the U.S. government after she says her son endured years of racist bullying at his public school. In Falls City, about 2 hours southeast of Lincoln, Tara Blunt says her 12-year-old was repeatedly called racial slurs and her complaints went nowhere, including a complaint filed with the Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights in 2023. Blunt is now suing the agency, the school district, and the state, accusing them of ignoring her son's harassment. But hundreds of federal investigators were laid off under the Trump administration, leaving her case in limbo.
That just leaves us spinning in a cycle that allows it to continue, the hate to continue, everything to continue. We're not getting anywhere.
Her attorney says they'll keep pushing the courts to restore civil rights staff and move Blunt's case forward. Meanwhile, Blunt says the hardest part is the silence in Falls City, where she believes locals see her as an embarrassment. She says the real embarrassment is the racism being ignored. Back in Lincoln, a 21-year-old woman is recovering after a rollover crash near South 27th and Coronado Drive last night. Police say witnesses saw a white sedan and a dark-colored car racing side by side when the sedan lost control, missed a light pole, and flipped into trees. Lincoln Fire and Rescue pulled the driver from the wreck. She was taken to the hospital with a broken arm and cited for careless driving. In crime news, Lincoln police have taken a 17-year-old boy into custody in connection with 2 Halloween stabbings. Officers say he fought a 17-year-old at a large party near South 40th and Prescott, leaving the victim seriously injured. A 15-year-old also suffered minor cuts. The suspect faces multiple assault and weapons charges and is lodged at the Youth Services Center. And an 18-year-old is facing charges after a 17-year-old was stabbed twice early Saturday morning near 20th and O Streets, puncturing a lung and requiring life-saving care. Police say Fomo Muhammad and the victim had prior run-ins at parties, and the attack stemmed from a personal dispute. Muhammad was arrested at home hours later. He faces second-degree assault and use of a deadly weapon charges. His bond is set at 10% of $700,000. In Sarpy County, an 18-year-old faces a $10 million bond after posting a threat to shoot up the Scary Acres haunted house. Marshall Fry is charged with making terroristic threats after investigators traced the comment on Instagram to his IP address. The threat forced Scary Acres to add extra security and search every guest entering the attraction. Now let's turn to our Omaha sister station, WOWT, for a look at some of their top stories. First Alert 6 anchor Brian Mastry joins us now with the latest. Brian?
Good evening, Danielle. We'll begin with the latest on an Omaha City employee described by prosecutors as the linchpin in a sex trafficking case. She waived her preliminary hearing, which means her case goes straight to district court. Her name is Amy Hicks. She remains in custody on a $10 million bond. She's an accountant with the City of Omaha's Finance Department. When investigators served a search warrant at City Hall last week, the 39-year-old faces several charges, including tax evasion, criminal conspiracy, and keeping a place of prostitution. 4 other defendants, all men, are also in custody. Well, today, Valley voters recalled the mayor and the city council by a wide margin. Here's at least the numbers for the mayor. The person who launched the recall petition said Mayor Cindy Grove created a hostile work environment and accused Council President John Batcher of prioritizing his own special interests over the will of the people.
1 in 5 children don't know where their next meal is coming from. That was before the government shut down.
And that word tonight from the food bank from the Heartland in Omaha. A citywide food drive continues to accept donations during the shutdown. The uncertainty of SNAP benefits coming in have created a great demand at Nebraska food pantries. In less than a week, City of Omaha collected 8,700 pounds of food. Now, the mayor says if you have a little extra food or money, it's suggested that perhaps you just donate all year long because people are hungry all year long. That's the news from here in Omaha. Danielle, back to you.
All right, thank you, Brian. Later in Night Beat, we'll cover how the city of Lincoln is supporting those affected by SNAP disruptions. Now, State Senator Dan McKeon is speaking out after being accused of groping a woman at a party this spring. Legal representatives are releasing a statement on his behalf saying, quote, "I have taken responsibility for attempting humor in the wrong moment and tone. I am sorry for that, but I did not engage in sexual misconduct, much less public lewd fondling or caressing. Most of my constituents enjoy my sense of humor," end quote. Senator McKeon is facing growing calls to resign, including a recent one from Governor Jim Pillen. In other news, open enrollment began this week, but many Americans could be seeing premiums rise by more than $1,000 as Affordable Care Act tax credits are nearing expiration. Nebraska Representative Don Bacon is leading a bipartisan effort to extend tax credits and prevent premium spikes for millions, including 130,000 Nebraskans. Bacon and 3 other lawmakers released a compromise plan Monday that would cap eligibility at a reasonable income and ensure credits go directly to people, not companies. He says it could stop premiums from doubling or tripling and hopes the approach will help break the government shutdown deadlock. State Senator John Frederickson of Omaha warns this healthcare issue isn't just affecting a few people in Nebraska.
This thinking or this narrative that this is only going to impact certain populations of folks, I think is misguided in that, we're all in this same boat together.
For former CMS Administrator Chiquita Brooks-LeSueur notes the U.S. had reached its lowest uninsured rate in history just before the shutdown. Representative Bacon and 3 of his colleagues issued a joint statement saying in part, quote, "We may not agree on every ideal outcome, but we've identified a fair, reasonable path forward," end quote. Now, nearly a week after SNAP benefits were interrupted for thousands in Nebraska, local officials are highlighting ways to support families in need. The Food Bank of Lincoln says every dollar provides 2 meals, and this is prompting the Lincoln mayor to call on the community to contribute. The county board is allocating $250,000 in emergency funding to assist affected families. The city is also launching an interactive food resource map showing local pantry locations and free meal options. Donations can be made through the Food Bank's website. Lastly, in some exciting news, the Lincoln Airport will soon offer 2 new flights to Las Vegas and Orange County, California through Breeze Airways. This adds to its existing Orlando route. Flights to Las Vegas will depart twice a week starting April 8th, 2026, with passengers continuing on the same plane for a one-stop connection to John Wayne Airport in Orange County. Rounding out your night beat is a check of the 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.